I eat extra sharp. That's what I eat.
They're coming all over the place. They're coming all over the place. They're coming all over. They're coming all over the place. They're coming all over the place.
Well, first of all, I should say something about how we came to be here and why we're doing this, and then kind of what we had in mind. Originally, the idea had come up of me debating somebody else on this topic, and that didn't end up happening.
Seriously, hot sauce. I've been eating a lot of hot sauce, a lot of raw peppers and hot sauce.
In case you don't know, and you haven't seen the latest polls, the American people hold the President of the United States in contempt. They hold this institution in contempt. They hold the Republican Party in contempt. They hold the Democratic Party in contempt. They think that maybe, given all of the crises facing this country, it's about time that there was some bold leadership here.
Running against the worst candidate in the history of presidential politics puts pressure on me. Can you imagine if I lose my whole life? What am I going to do? I'm going to say, I lost to the worst candidate in the history of politics. I'm not going to feel so good. Maybe I'll have to leave the country. I don't know. Running against...
All of a sudden, we can't talk about Neanderthal DNA anymore.
Well, first of all, I should say something about how we came to be here and why we're doing this, and then kind of what we had in mind. Originally, the idea had come up of me debating somebody else on this topic, and that didn't end up happening. The idea had come up of me debating somebody else on this topic, and that didn't end up happening. Debating somebody else on this topic, and that didn't end up happening.
And by the way, I don't think that's some grand conspiracy. I think this is sort of what power is. I mean this at a sort of high level.
Isn't it wonderful to allow protesting? No. The world is actually a small piece of the universe, right? The world is actually a small piece of the universe, right?
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by go. You know the thing.
Hello, users, and welcome to another episodic installation of Above It All, the hit. It's a hit one, folks. YouTube live show where I discuss the world, and just the absolute state of the world. I mean, that's really what's going on here. So, yes. So here we are. I have not consumed a full cup of coffee, so please just give me a little bit. You see that? There's like a sticker on the bottom of this. This cup has survived the sticker. It was purchased for 59 cents. That's incredible. Anyway, how's it going, folks? I am waking up. Wait for it. All right, I'm woke. So, let's get into the show today. So we got some news. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the Ben Burgess, David Feldman coverage I did. I thought that was really, really funny. And we all need a break every now and then to discuss the things that are really funny in life. And so, some people got mad at me for doing 2 whole shows dedicated to that. But, and when I say got mad at, I mean, like, they were like, this is stupid, you shouldn't do this. And I'm like, okay, that being said, I will do it. Let's see. Let's read some comments from some users. Jesus, you are an idiot doing as much damage as you can. Jimmy is a powerful, constructive force, pointing out the careerism of our so-called progressive representatives. Coopting the energy for change is enough to kill a movement, you idiot. That's some good comments. So this is a good one. This is another Force the Vote fan. You said, quote, all those weirdos. Meanwhile, you're a trans. Interesting. All right. This YouTube show sucks ass. I think that's a compliment, though. Fucking good point. Yeah, no, it was a great point. I am a trans, therefore, force the vote. Folks, there's this new feature on YouTube that I think more people are using where you can, like, give me super chats during, videos. So I want to say thank you to everyone who's done that because I got a couple. And let me drink some more water. All right, folks.
Oh, hell.
I mean, the percentage of Jimmy Dore fans that aren't transphobic is like a solid 3%. My wife is out of town, so my dog woke me up at 4 a.m. You see this, folks? This is a gallon of, or at least what used to be a gallon of water. It no longer contains the contents, so. Anyway, let's get into the news, folks. Yesterday was the 102nd day of protesting in the city of Elizabeth City that is being held hostage by the county of Pasquotank County. And so what we did was we did another sidewalk demonstration through downtown Elizabeth City. But meanwhile, what's also happening is we have someone out there repairing the Black Lives Matter street mural that was destroyed by a racist. Now, for those of you that do not remember, the Black Lives Matter street mural took like a couple weeks to get set up, and then within 7 hours, and now the road was blocked off while it was being set up, and within 7 hours, that is to say 7 hours later, after the street was reopened, it was desecrated, and that person is now in jail, to my understanding. But I don't know the update on that case, if there is an update. But either way, we have someone out there repairing it, and we're going to get that done over the next couple of days. And so we went downtown throughout Elizabeth City, once again with a very good demonstration. We were loud, we were proud, and we did what was right. And we had people join us along the way and give us some very high level energy. And it was all around a very good demonstration. It lasted around, probably around 25, 30 minutes. Right now, what we're doing is we are planning up to do some other stuff next week. Today is Sunday, tomorrow is Monday. And Monday, we will be going to the county commissioners meeting to ask them a couple of questions. Most notably related to the $28,000 that mysteriously was disappeared from the county budget. They voted on and said it was going to be spent on removing the Confederate monument as of 9 days ago. So it was supposed to be removed 9 days ago, but somehow it's still there. And so now we're wondering, where did that $28,000 go? Did it just get disappeared? Did someone steal it? What happened? Is there corruption going on? So we're going to have to get to the bottom of that. Also, the eviction moratorium is expiring, and so we are going to see if there's anything that can be done in the county of Pasquotank County or the city of Elizabeth City in regards to that. And so I will bring you some updates when it comes to that kind of stuff. And so overall, though, the demonstration was pretty good. We picked up people along the way, and it was all around a very, very good time. And that is day 102 of Elizabeth City protesting. And again, 102 days. That's a long time. I mean, jeez Louise, folks, it's crazy out here. But again, I just want to reiterate that this is a historic moment, and everyone who even comes out at one point is participating in history, and therefore, I just have to say that the entire city, I'm proud to be a part of. So we got some shite. All right. Man, this coffee needs to kick in way faster. Howdy, folks. Holy shit. All right. Okay, folks, so I covered this the other day. And so I wanted to provide a follow-up. Couple days ago, there was a vote on an amendment in the House of Representatives on allowing research of psilocybin mushrooms, MDMA, and other psychedelic drugs in the effort to understand exactly how we can use these substances to help treat things such as depression, PTSD, and onward. Now, I can tell you this from personal experience. We don't need any research. This shit's pretty cool. But that being said, the government does things differently. So here's AOC speaking on the amendment. Spoiler alert, it failed, but we'll go into that in a little bit.
New York.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I present this amendment at the desk today because for a very long period of time, the United States has and continues to uphold obsolete and old provisions from the war on drugs. This provision specifically has, for a very long period of time, prevented and acted as a barricade to federal research on certain substances such as psilocybin, MDMA, and marijuana.
I just want to say, personally, I think the war on drugs should be and is historically relevant and related to the history of repression of scientific advancements when it comes to people saying, oh, maybe, now hear me out here, maybe the earth revolves around the sun. Remember, you used to go to jail for suggesting such a thing? That the earth actually revolved around the sun? You used to get executed if you even hinted at the idea that perhaps, maybe, the earth is not the center of the universe. I personally would say that the last, let's imagine an alternate universe where we had been studying things such as psilocybin mushrooms, MDMA, and onward for the last 60, 70 years. I personally think we would be significantly better off. I feel like depression and PTSD would have probably no longer be just in existence. I feel like wars would probably have not happened as much. This is a huge, 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 huge thing. Now, again, if you've never tried, mushrooms, for example, maybe you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but man, this shit's amazing. And so it's a huge problem when we ban scientific research in any capacity. I think all scientific research should be allowed. Now, if you want to say, all right, maybe we shouldn't allow the drugs to be bought in stores, that's one thing. That's a whole separate, wholesale difference from saying that this drug should not be studied in any capacity whatsoever. That's ridiculous. That would be like if we had, someone discovered fossil fuels and then the government was like, sorry, can't do it. That's going to be harmful to the environment, so we're never going to use that ever. Again, would that have led to maybe alternative energy usage? Then maybe we would have had, maybe, right? But let's just, let's look at the history of scientific repression. And y'all have to understand, the war on drugs, literally, there's one reason why it started. One reason. Racism. That's it. The Nixon administration started the Controlled Substances Act. They pushed for it because, quote, they wanted to get rid of the blacks and the hippies from the voting population. That's why the war on drugs started. So we know the war on drugs started from racism. And now all of a sudden, Joe Biden, famous anti-racist, Antifa communist Joe Biden, why isn't he doing anything on this? How come the Democratic Party is upholding racism in 2021? What's going on here?
Allowing us to research the applications and potential therapeutic applications of these drugs in the treatment of diseases such as PTSD, addiction, and depression. We are long overdue in a moment of reckoning to make sure that we not only rectify the harms from the past, but allow us to research the potential medicinal applications of these substances. And the first step in doing that is ending and taking down some of these old provisional barriers to research. I reserve my time.
The gentlelady from New York.
All right, so AOC says, we got a little closer to ending this outdated war on drugs era policy last night. Last Congress, we had 83 votes. This Congress, we had 139, including 7 Republicans. We'll keep bringing it up until the times catch up. We are undeterred. So, again, I'm just letting you know, this is a huge, giant, if you've never, I'm not trying to suggest, by the way, that anyone participate in doing illegal drugs. That's not what I'm trying to suggest whatsoever. What I'm trying to suggest is that science is different from recreation. If you want to go out there and surf and then whoa, that's a whole different thing from if you're trying to I don't know why I picked surfing. That was a bad analogy, but if you're out there cooking for food, if you're just eating, dinner, that's different from trying to scientifically decide what the most nutritious meal is, what the most balanced way of cooking it is, right? Science is different from recreation. Recreation is fun, it can be cool, and it should be allowed in its own right. That being said, science is a different ballgame. To ban scientific research is ludicrous. It is ludicrous, folks. That would be like abolishing NASA because, the space travel is scary. So, boom, automatically space travel's banned because it's too scary. It doesn't make any fucking sense, folks. And so I wanted to provide a follow-up on this one. Significantly more yes votes than the last session of Congress. I'm hoping that in the next midterm election we get some more movement on this, because this is one of, in my opinion, now again, it's possible because, you know, I'm a freak show, but in my opinion, this is one of the most important things that we can do as a society. I think personally it's up there with climate change. I think it's up there with Medicare for all. I think it's up there. I personally do, and that's just my opinion, because as someone with various mental illnesses, you know, depression, anxiety, that kind of stuff, these substances have helped me tremendously. I know a lot of other people that they've helped therapeutically, and the idea that they are banned from research while the big pharmaceutical companies mass manufacture SSRIs that just destroy your brain and not even allow you to feel any emotions whatsoever, to me that's a problem, and it just shows that, you know, America is still extremely racist. This only started because of racism. Literally, the founders and the architects of the drug war are on the books. They're on record. You can go look it up. It's official White House memos. The blacks and the hippies. That's why they created the war on drugs. And we need to understand that. So there is absolutely zero defense for banning scientific research of anything. That's my official opinion on that one. Man, you know, I don't want to be that motherfucker. So let me get like another angle on this before I become that motherfucker. Let's go. All right, folks. So, Congresswoman Cori Bush has been performing a protest outside of the Capitol building because the eviction moratorium expired yesterday. And I'm going to be covering this in a couple different segments today, but I wanted to start off with Cori Bush's protest. She has been outside of the Capitol, basically trying to bring attention to this. She herself has been sleeping outside on the street, outside of the Capitol building, in protest, because both the Democratic Party and the Republican Party and the President of the United States have failed the people, folks. Now, I want to be very, very clear. This is something I've been covering since the eviction moratorium went into place, is I am telling you right now, the eviction moratorium ending is a green light for genocide. There are going to be thousands of deaths that are directly related to this policy choice. I'm not joking. Right, with the Delta variant surging in a lot of areas, people getting kicked out of their houses by the millions. Millions of people will lose their homes in this country. This is something that I've been talking about. There are studies that said upwards of like 12 million people will now become homeless once the eviction moratorium ends. That was before Biden took office, right? But things haven't gotten any better. Things have gotten much worse since Biden took office. Let's be real, folks. The only actual difference between now and January 20th is the vaccine being out. And we know how that's going. This country doesn't know what science is, and they're not taking the vaccine. Now, I personally am vaccinated because it's the right thing to do. I think everyone who's watching me should be vaccinated, and if you're not, go do it right now because you're running out of time for this Delta variant thing. But either way, my point is, the eviction moratorium expiring now, I'm sorry, there's no defense. This is genocide. So let's listen to Cori Bush go on MSNBC talking about this.
Since taking to the steps of the Capitol, have you heard or talked to Speaker Pelosi?
I have not. I have not talked to the speaker, but I have talked to many of my Congress members some will be joining me out here today. And I have talked to Chairwoman Maxine Waters, who is in support. I just saw a tweet from my good chairman from the Judiciary Committee, Chairman Nadler, in support. So we are out here. We're going to continue to be out here. So I'm calling all of my colleagues, Congress members, if you support this, come back out here and be with us today. Come back out here because we need to be brought back to this House to finish this work so that people don't end up on the street while we go vacation. We cannot go vacation while people are at risk. Join me.
Congresswoman Cori Bush.
So again, folks, Congress is on a 6-week vacation. What? Folks, what? 6 weeks? Paid vacation. I was about to say, what are they, school teachers? And then I was realizing, wait a second, teachers don't get paid during the summer months. Why is Congress allowed to have 6 weeks of uninterrupted vacation? What the fuck? What? So anyway, she was camping out there all night, bringing awareness to the eviction moratorium expiring. And again, I want to also bring up a tweet by Nancy Pelosi that I forgot to open up. So let me go grab that real quick. Nancy Pelosi, Lord have mercy. Like, I mean, I've got to be honest with y'all. Nancy Pelosi, not great. Fucking not great at all. So Nancy Pelosi here says, ensuring every American has a roof overhead is a value, blah, 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 blah. She's the Speaker of the motherfucking House. She came out in support of renewing the eviction moratorium. Guess what? After the 6-week recess. What? What? Democrats believe in a safe and affordable housing. The Biden-Harris admin and the House Democrats will continue. What? She posted this after banging the gavel and giving everyone a 6-month vacation? What? Is Joe Biden saying anything? Oh, another busy week. Look at that. Joe Biden drawing. Wow. Look, he's talking to people in front of tires. Damn. Look, he's got his mask on and it's crooked. Ha ha ha. Silly Joe. Look at that. Look at the opulent fucking chandelier and the fucking flags and the stupid ass paintings. Wow, Joe. Another busy week in the books. Another busy week doing what exactly? Giving billions of dollars to Israel so that they can kill more Palestinian children? Anything? Any mention of the moratorium at all? I'm scrolling. Oh, as the eviction moratorium deadline approaches tomorrow, I call on all state and local governments to take all... Oh, okay. Right. Let's read this. So, the President of the United States is saying... This is for you, Letterhack. Hey, Jack. So, I am the president, and I don't really feel like doing anything, so can you do my job for me? Oh, yeah, I know you're just a governor. Oh, you don't have any funds? Oh, you wanted me to pass legislation so that you could get funding? Oh, well, I gotta be honest with you. I didn't want to do that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna post a press release. Then I'm gonna say that I've asked you, and whether or not, I asked you to do so. So I'm gonna put out a press release, not do my job, take a nap, and then just go see what happens. Like, what the fuck is this guy doing? He's the president of the United States. What? As the eviction moratorium deadline approaches tomorrow, I call on all state and local governments to take all possible steps. What about the federal government? Are you gonna call on the federal government to take any? Are you gonna sign an executive? What? He's the president. He's not like a fucking podcast host. This isn't like an above-it-all press release statement by Andrea Rovenski. Please, for the love of God, a politician somewhere do something. He's the president of the United States. What? My administration will not rest, nor should the state and local governments. What about federal government? They just went on a 6-week vacation. What the fuck is this guy talking? They are hoping to God that you buy this shit. They're stupid as hell. These motherfuckers are crazy. And so again, shout outs to Cori Bush for going out there and actually doing something with this. I hope it actually works. I'm very positive it won't. But that's just because I'm a pessimist. But again, this is horrible. And people are going to die because of this. And Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, the fact that they're pretending to support it while doing nothing. Well, they have sole power to do things. Oh yeah, sorry. I would have done it. Except, I got distracted. There was a bird flew into the window, and then the sun was in my eyes, and then all of a sudden it's 2:30, and I missed my nap time, and what the fuck is wrong with these motherfuckers? It's ridiculous. But these are not the only motherfuckers. that we need to worry about, folks. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know
That's
what's
where
up.
we are.
Y'all know what's up. Y'all know what's going on here. You know what's happening. You know what's going on here. Those of you that have been on Twitter, you know what's about to happen. You're aware. Maybe you're not aware. Maybe, like, if you're not aware, if you have no idea what I'm talking about. Okay, so let me, like, segue. Cori Bush, eviction moratorium. What's been the through line of this show for the last week? Making fun of dumb lefties? Right now, if you can't piece together what I'm about to talk about, I suggest closing the stream for the next 10 minutes because you're better off that way. So while Cori Bush is out there sleeping on the streets of the Capitol, raising awareness for the eviction moratorium ending, a Twitter troll, Max Blumenthal, went out there and asked her questions not about the eviction moratorium, but about force the vote. That's right, folks. We're forcing the vote. Again! Let's watch.
That's where we are.
And I heard, like, last night there was a lot less people. It's great to see so many more people. But I heard there was an intense debate about the role of the squad and why the squad didn't leverage its vote for the speaker.
Look at Cori Bush. She's like, wait, what? This is like, Cori Bush is like, wait a second. What is going on? Who is this guy? What happened? I thought I was giving an interview on the eviction moratorium. No, bait and switch.
Didn't leverage its vote for the speaker for Medicare for all vote. And why the squad, I mean, with the margin so narrow in Congress, why the squad didn't
because
leverage its vote on the stimulus to get a $15 minimum wage? What?
No. So first, one thing that was said last night, which is something that's very true, and I wish we would have talked about that this was where your conversation was going, because we're talking about the rally for.
I just have to be honest, Max Blumenthal, man.
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
This is like, what are these fucking people doing? Cori Bush is out there being like the most proactive member of Congress on almost all of this shit, and they're fucking hounding her the most. What is good? She went to the March for Medicare for All. They yelled at her, called her a sellout. They were like, force the vote, force the vote, force the vote, boo, force the vote, force the vote. And now she's out here doing a protest, literally sleeping on the street with homeless people outside of the Capitol building. And it's not, oh, how do you feel about the eviction moratorium? It's force the vote, boo, force the vote, force the vote. What the fuck is wrong with these motherfuckers? They're crazy. These people have lost the plot. They're out of control. Like, they're on drugs, and not the good drugs. Not like, you know, like the good ass drugs where you go like, woo. Like, they're on the bad drugs, motherfucker. They're on the drugs that should remain illegal for reasons that they make Max Blumenthal exist. Like, what is going on here?
Said last night, which is something that's very true, and I wish we would have talked about that this was where your conversation was going, because we're talking about the rally for tonight. And I really would love to keep the conversation on what's happening.
I feel like it's all related to healthcare and the...
It absolutely is, but this is the thing.
The eviction moratorium expiring? You know, in reality, it's all relating to healthcare. And obviously, healthcare and force the vote are synonymous. When I think, oh, hey, I need to call my doctor. Hey, doc. Yeah, I'd like to schedule an appointment. Yeah. Hashtag force the vote. What? No, force the vote. I want to force the vote on my appointment. Yeah. No. I want a new appointment, but I want you to force the vote on the... Like, what the... What? Okay, so let me get the... Okay, so the eviction moratorium expiring equals healthcare equals force the vote equals Cori Bush is a sellout. What? I much prefer Max the dog in comparison to Max the clown. I gotta be honest. Doggy! Max! He's on the floor?
What was said last night is that this bill, Medicare for All, is not, there's no person on the squad whose bill that is. That is Bernie Sanders' bill in the Senate. It is Pramila Jayapal's bill.
I love that they have to give these so-called journalists, like, they're journalists. That's what's, like, let's look at this guy's Twitter bio. Editor, co-host, Moderate Rebels, author. Okay, so he's an author and an editor, no less. So I guess he's not a journalist. But, like, these motherfuckers are authors and editors and journalists. And they have no idea what the fuck's going on. Like, they're fucking losers.
Bill in the House. It is not our bill. We cannot make that bill come to the floor. There is nothing that we can do legally to get the bill to the floor. We have
But Pelosi could have brought the bill.
So, again, getting the bill to the floor is a separate conversation from healthcare. The Jimmy Dum Dum, Max Blumenthal, gray zone, fucking cuck zone bullshit. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They literally think, okay, hashtag force the vote. Step 1, force the vote. Step 2, question mark, question mark, question mark. Step 3, profit. It's literally a fucking decades old internet meme is what they're doing. And people somehow buy this shit. How does forcing the vote get us healthcare? Tell me, does anyone know? Does anyone have the secret sauce? Like, what the fuck is happening?
To the floor.
We're good here, thank you.
Well, what? Well,
I'm sorry, Max. We're fine at this.
Why can't she answer the question?
We're here to talk about the eviction.
But I feel like it's all about healthcare.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Really appreciate your time.
We're here for a reason. It's about the moratorium.
Why is that? I can't ask about Medicare for all.
So the Congresswoman has slept 1 hour. She's done a lot of labor.
I'm trying to get people out here, too.
I respect your work.
I'm trying to do the same thing you all are doing.
I love how Max Blumenthal... First of all, Max, I'm going to tell you right now, anyone that you could get out there, they're not interested in. Like, I'm letting you know right now. Anyone that's going to watch your live stream or look at your Twitter video and say, oh, let me get out there, those are not going to be people that are going to be supporting the movement. I'm telling you right now. So, but I love how he's trying to do like, oh, I was just asking about healthcare. It's all about healthcare. It's healthcare. Oh, bro, people are losing their houses. I'm telling you this right now. Like, yes, healthcare is important. Duh. People are losing their houses right now. People are getting evicted right now.
Thank you for being here.
But why can't she could just answer it and then I go away? I'm not trying to like attack her or anything. I'm not trying to smear her.
We're happy to give you a contact and you can reach out.
But why is that issue, the Medicare for all vote, so like she was wrapping up her? But she was wrapping up her. I know she was wrapping up her answer. Then I was going to say thank you. Everybody come out.
I appreciate.
But why didn't you let her just wrap up her answer?
I really appreciate you. We're happy to give you a contact. You can feel free to reach out. Thanks so much.
All right, thanks.
This is a good comment from Sal in the chat. She's tired AF and this clown knows that he's trying to catch her slip. Right, exactly. Exactly. Like, Cori Bush was literally just outlining exactly why this guy's an idiot. Now, if you look at the comments, we're just going to scroll down. Look at this. Nick is a Fred Hampton leftist, this dumb motherfucker. Why are people okay with politicians refusing to answer questions and hiding from the constituents? Is Max Blumenthal a constituent of Cori Bush? Is she hiding from constituent? No, the guy's a fucking moron. These people are ridiculous. They're clowns. They're losers, folks. They're losers and suckers in the most literal sense. 1, they don't know how Congress works. 2, they don't know how law works. 3, they don't know how protesting works. 4, they don't know how organizing works. 5, they don't know the definitions of words. 6, they're just personally all insufferable motherfuckers. 7, what the fuck? 8, can we just stop this shit? 9, god damn it. And 10, what the fuck? Like, I don't even... It's all about healthcare. I'm shocked. I am speechless, folks. I am without speech. I have to be honest. Lord have mercy. There is one other thing I was thinking of talking about. Yes. Yes. Hold the phone, folks. I gotta set this up. Gotta set it up. So, is this real? Where is this? How do you watch this? Okay, hold the phone. I didn't set this up at all before the show, but I want to talk about it because I'm on the forced to vote beat.
Under the condition it's only you.
Okay.
Job.
Okay, folks. All right, you ready for this? All right. So, Kyle Kulinski got owned. Epic style, folks. Epic style. So here is episode 32 of the show titled Crystal, Kyle, and Friends. Let's listen.
Sanders and talk about all the things from how he views the Biden administration, how I view the Biden administration, whether progressives are doing enough, his change in role from sort of perpetual outsider status to now being in the room and what that's been like. So it's pretty interesting talking to him.
Yeah, so this episode is a little bit bittersweet for me because, I mean, I love the
Why would it be bittersweet? Does anyone want to... Are we like guess? I would like you to guess. Why would this episode be bittersweet? Why would episode 32 of Crystal, Kyle, and Friends be bittersweet? Well, let's listen.
fact that you got to talk to Bernie, and I have full faith and confidence in your abilities. I know you're going to do an amazing job, but I'm not in this interview, and there's a reason why I'm not in this interview. So, I mean, you could probably give the timeline better than me, but they reached out to you and basically said, yeah, we'll do an interview under the condition it's only you. Correct?
Yes. So that was that. We actually didn't reach out to them.
See,
I mean,
you say that, but I feel like months ago you did reach out to them and invite them. And then now, like months later, they finally responded and they were like, sure, but only you.
I actually can't. You're probably right, because probably at the beginning of the podcast,
Yes.
I probably did reach out to them. But it has been, that request
been
has
months.
long
Yes.
expired. So they reached out. The senator was very frustrated with the media not asking him a single decent question. So I think they wanted to have a place where they thought they'd get a more substantive discussion. I've interviewed him a couple times before, and for whatever reason, that was the very first thing they led with when they reached out to me, was like, want to do this interview, but really want it to be just you. They were also kind of open on whether it would live here or with breaking points. So it wasn't just you that they didn't want, it was also Sagar that they didn't want.
You made it seem like it was relatively non-negotiable that they wanted to talk to you.
That was
it was like a hard line kind of. Like, sure, we'll do it, but this is the condition.
Yes.
Yes. So, you know, am I butthurt over that? Yes. I'm very butthurt over that. I mean, I supported Bernie more than anybody in 2016, more than anybody in 2020. I got him on Joe Rogan. That's, you know, you could talk to Bashir, his campaign manager. I'm the one who set all that up.
Yeah.
So, to sort of be thrown under the bus, in a way. And whether it's Sagar or me, I mean, Sagar, he'll even tell you, he's more Bernie's ideological enemy than I am.
Yeah.
And so to be somebody who's more ideologically aligned with him and supported him as much as I did, I'm going to kick you off your own show. That stung. I didn't like that. I was talking to Corn about it. He was like, really? How would he do that? I don't fucking know. So you tell me. I mean, your theory was like, oh, it's just he likes you and so he wants to do it with only you. My theory's more, for whatever reason, he doesn't want to involve me or Sagar. And in the case of me, maybe it's because I called him a cuck repeatedly.
It could be.
If he saw that.
Could be.
But I kind of doubt he saw that.
I want to be honest. Yo, folks. This is episode 32 of Crystal and Friends. Right? Episode 32 of Crystal and Friends. And it starts out with Kyle whining like a baby and calling Bernie Sanders a cuck. No wonder he didn't want to talk to you, bro. I'm sorry, but there's a reason this motherfucker did not want you around. It's because, like, even the episode that he did with Crystal and Friends, you still managed to fuck it up when you weren't even in the interview. Like, it's not, like, okay, imagine, I know Kyle Kulinski's a little bit griftery. He's been forced to vote. He's lost the plot. The guy's kind of a weirdo. Now, I don't see how Crystal Ball is any better, but whatever, that's fine. Let's kick Kyle off his own show to prevent anything bad from happening. 24 hours later, and he starts the fucking video calling Bernie a cuck. Imagine getting kicked off your own show, man. Like, I'm sorry, but that's not good.
Honestly, I mean, it's very hard to say what the behind the scenes looks like. I honestly would be surprised if it was like personal to you or personal to Sagar. I think it was more, I mean, this is speculative. I have no idea, right? All I know is that
I'm saying, now here's the thing. I'm saying this is not what you put in the episode intro. It's just me though. If I got kicked off my own show, you know what I would do? I would post the episode and I would make a separate video talking about why I got kicked off my own show and how much of a loser I am. That's what I would do. I wouldn't destroy the actual episode. It's with Bernie Sanders, bro. And you're going to start the interview. Like, in order for people to go to your show and listen to Bernie Sanders speak, they're going to have to go through your little soliloquy calling him a cuck and saying, I'm a loser over and over. And then I also love how Crystal is just like, nah, I disagree. I think he just wanted a one-on-one quick interview. Kyle's like, no. It's because I called him a cuck. Even though he wouldn't know that I called him a cuck. So, even though he didn't know, I'm going to say that I called him a cuck in the opening to this video. So that anyone who watches this video and when Bernie Sanders' press team watches the video back to see how it went, they're going to hear me calling him a cuck.
Like, we want to do this interview and give you a good chunk of time, but we want it to be a one-on-one, and, like, that's a stipulation. So they were open on which platform. They were open on how we promote it. You know, you'll see the conversation, like, it's definitely not a softball interview, and it's wide-ranging and all that stuff. So they were open on all of those pieces, came in the studio, which I also appreciated because it makes for a better conversation. But that was, like, the one thing they were hard on, is it needs to be one-on-one.
The other possibility, like you pointed out, I don't know how much I buy this, but the other possibility is that maybe his manager or agent or his comms person doesn't like me or Sagar and was like, we just want it to be only you. So that's another possibility.
Or knows that the senator has a certain, like, knows who I am. I know he knows who you are too, but had, you know, a certain comfort level with me or whatever, and just had me in mind.
So he was on my show during the campaign.
Yeah.
And that was more, I think what happened there was Fahd Shakir, the campaign manager, I set up the Rogan interview, and then they felt like the right thing to do is to give Kyle an interview. I didn't even ask for an interview because I didn't do interviews then. So I didn't even really want an interview, but they were like, do an interview because basically like, let me pay you back for the Rogan thing.
For getting you the Rogan
thing.
thing.
And so, you know, the one thing, this is obvious, everybody will know this, but they gave me 15 minutes and it was like in-out quick interview. I asked like 4 fucking questions.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Especially because he's not a short-winded person.
Yeah, so you just get the sense, but that's
off.
The thing that's a little frustrating is that you do get the sense that it's sort of look down his nose at certain people, and I think he does have this contradictory belief where he talks all the time about, oh, we love independent media and we want independent media to grow, and it's like, well, all the people who were part of the Justice Democrats and were in the squad were more than happy to go on all these left-wing shows when we were helping them get elected, and now that they are elected and now that they're not really fulfilling their mission, it's like all this.
I'm telling you right now, man, this is so sad to watch. Because, like, if you were to, like, compare Kyle Kulinski when he was founding Justice Democrats versus right now, it is night and day. It is not. They're failing their mission. Like, in 2017, Kyle, did you actually think you would get 4 members of Congress elected and that they would pass healthcare for all? Like, did you think that? Is that something you thought for a second? We're going to get AOC, Amy Villela, Paula Jean Swearengin, which, by the way, oh my God, and Cori Bush elected, and then we're going to instantly get healthcare. Achievement unlocked. You got 1 person elected to Congress. Healthcare is now guaranteed for all citizens. They're failing their mission. What is he talking about?
When we get tiny bit critical of them, gone. And so it's like you don't really actually want a thriving independent.
The thing is, it's not tiny bit critical. You are hopping on the force to vote train. You called him a cuck over and over. Force to vote, force to vote, force to vote. They got to force to vote. Why didn't AOC force the vote? Oh my god. Don't they know that that Congress literally doesn't work that way? Why didn't they rewrite the rules of Congress? And why didn't they rewrite how the House works so that they could force the vote? Oh my god. Bernie's Max is fucking freaking out because I'm acting like an idiot. Hey Max, how's it going? He doesn't know what's going on. Max, I'm just trying to get them to force the vote, buddy. I'm sorry. But like, seriously, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Force the vote. They failed their mission. They didn't force the vote. Oh my god. Max. Like, I'm serious. Like, this guy's on drugs.
Media, because that actually does mean more tough questions for you, and you're willing to dismiss or overlook or not pay attention to and not go on any of the shows that were huge supporters of you. So I kind of think it's bullshit. Right-wing media always has right-wing politicians, and they feed each other, they echo each other's arguments, and there's like a bond there. And on the left, I mean, that's not the case. But you know what? At this point, I should really stop complaining, because the fact of the matter is, I don't want to have...
Here's the thing. That, what he said, oh, I should stop complaining. Okay, what you should have done is say, oh, this is a pre-recorded bit for our audio version. Let's just remove that and just upload the audio with Bernie Sanders and Crystal Ball. But no, he's keeping it in there because he's a whiny baby. And again, I don't want to be out here. I'm a member of the ski clan. I have skied with Kyle Kalinske. We're both members of the tribe of skis. I don't want to be out here. This is intra-ski infighting. I'm not interested in that. But, you know, there's a time where you have to break out the skis and you have to bash them against the wall and you have to just call someone out for being a fucking whiny little baby. And that's what Kyle is. He's a whiny little baby. And I mean, again, you're calling Bernie Sanders a cuck, and yet you got kicked off your own show. So, yeah. I don't know about that one. But all I do know is that...
No good, really bad for you.
Lord have mercy, the motherfucker got kicked off his own show. Like, I mean, imagine, like, Above It All, episode 1287. It's an exclusive interview with fucking AOC, and it's just AOC talking. And I got kicked off my own show, and she just, like, did a little video for me. Yeah, I just got kicked off my own show. It's all good. Yeah, AOC said she's fine with coming on Above It All, but she doesn't really want to talk to you, so... I'll get someone else to fill in for me. I'll get fucking the letter hack to pop in. Interview AOC on my show. Like, what? Like, who does that? Who gets kicked off their own show and then, like, has the audacity to call the other person a cuck? Like, I'm sorry, but that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I'm turning my air conditioner on because I worked myself into a tizzy. Having a hot flash. So yeah, that's really funny. So there's, like, another... Should I, like, I mean, I hate that, like, I have to dedicate time to force the vote burnouts, but, like, there's another one that really is just absolutely embarrassing. Like, this is incredible. And so, you know, y'all know who I'm talking about. Spoiler alert, I mentioned her in the last segment. Folks, I've got bad news for you. It's official. The jig is up. That's right, folks. Paula Jean Swearingen has posted the official fraud alert on Twitter. This is not a drill, folks. This is not a drill. The fraud alert has been issued. This is a level 10 warning. There are frauds in the area. So Paula Jean Swearingen had another Twitter meltdown. And, I mean, honestly, again, I understand. I get it. I've had Twitter meltdowns. I've had YouTube meltdowns. I've had Twitch meltdowns. I've melted down on every platform I've ever been on. So I get it. I get having a classic meltdown. But, I mean, like, you know, I want to be that person that, like, explains why this meltdown is bad and how she can just bring it back. She is deep in it. She quit the Democratic Party, is now a part of the People's Party. She lied about AOC owning a restaurant, which, like, what the fuck? Like, and then, like, then she got destroyed for being an idiot, and then she cried about it. She said that poor people can't party, and poor people don't have ketchup packets. Ketchup packets. She said that. I made a whole video about it. She said West Virginia has no ketchup packets. They just don't exist. Right? It's bizarre. But now we're at a new point. Paula Jean Swearengin has officially entered the point where she's issuing a full-scale, high-level fraud alert. And so let's go click on her Twitter profile and see what this is about. So yes, I'm still following Paula Jean. I followed her for a couple years now. I'm not going to unfollow her yet because this is really funny and I like to be the first one to see it. So she tweeted in between, you might be wondering, 14 hours, 11 hours. What happened in those 3 hours? What went down in those 3 hours between this tweet, the @DNC hashtag Hive is super mad that so many of us left the party. I thought they would celebrate our departure. Twitter groups dedicated to attacking struggling community members personally is foul. Do your damn job. Hashtag strategically broken. Hashtag Hive bullshit. And then, seemingly, she issued the fraud alert. But I've got a question for you, Paula Jean. Are you the fraud? Are you alerting us to the fact that you're a fraud? Because there's a missing link here. That's right, folks. We found the missing link. We discovered it. It was screenshotted. I think the @DNC needs to explain their allegiance to the hashtag Ghive and why they are attacking struggling community members. So for those of you that don't know, Ghive is a conspiracy theory started by dumb leftists forced to vote burnouts, where they claim that some random dude on Twitter with 20,000 followers is like secretly the puppet master and controls all of left-wing Twitter accounts. Now, previously, the Ghive conspiracy was that the DNC actually paid Jeff, the leader of the Ghive, to corral people into the Democratic Party. That was the original conspiracy theory. But Paula Jean Swearengin upgraded that conspiracy theory. So now, the DNC has sworn allegiance to the Ghive. It's the other way around. Now Jeff, a random Twitter guy with 20,000 followers, now he actually controls the entirety of the Democratic Party. Can you believe that? Paula Jean Swearengin, folks, in between issuing a fraud alert, she has come out with some revelating details. And again, there's a reason why she deleted this tweet. Ghive got to her, folks. The DNC has won. Ghive forced her to delete her tweet. And then so the only thing she could think of doing was posting the fraud alert. And so I just have to say, this shit is getting out of hand, man. Like, I really, there's so much going on. And I really don't even know where to begin. But I gotta get Jeff on my show to talk about the Ghive, because this thing is hilarious. Now, obviously, I'm a member of the Ghive. I have been accused of being within the ranks of the Ghive for a couple months now. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even know who Jeff was until the Ghive thing started. Like, I think we had followed each other, but I had no idea it was about him for like the first 2 months, and then people kept calling me Ghive, and I asked on Twitter, what's Ghive? And then like he responded and was like, yo, this is all about me or whatever. I'm like, what? But yeah, so again, I want to remind you all, like real quick, just to like show you who I'm talking about. So you might be thinking, Jeff? Is it like Jeffrey of Good Morning Comrade? No, it's not, because no one cares about Jeffrey. It's actually Jeff Campbell on Twitter. This guy has 18,000 followers. Right, now, how many followers, someone tell me, how many followers does Paula Jean have? Does anyone know? 73,000 followers. So some dude with less than a quarter of your following is seemingly so ultra powerful that they're controlling the entire Democratic Party? What the fuck? But again, I mean, like, these people are, like, they're gone. Like, they have lost it, man. They're gone. And I wasn't originally going to talk about this, but I had to because I'm on the subject and it's so funny. But, like, holy shit, man. These motherfuckers. First they came for our ketchup packets. And I said nothing because I don't like ketchup packets. And then the Ghive controlled the DNC. Lord have mercy. What the fuck? Anyway, folks, that's going to be my show for today. And, how was it? Any good? Any good? Catsup packets? Catsup is even worse. Folks, we have an update. So earlier in the show, I was reading some critical comments. You said all of those weirdos, meanwhile, you're a trans. This was a concerned force to vote burnout. And so I asked them, me being trans makes me a weirdo? Question mark. And we have a response. Yes, it does. Trans, I know, refer to themselves as weird, and they wear it with pride. So again, let me get this straight. So now, you know, that's like saying, oh, you know, I put hot sauce on my popcorn. I'm such a weirdo. Like, that's not the same thing as calling all trans people weird for being trans. But let's go on. And why are you calling others weirdos but can't handle it if I call you one? Does that make you a hypocrite? Well, first of all, I can handle it. Second of all, that doesn't change the fact that you specifically stated you're a trans. Like, these forced to voters, man, they're crazy. I'm going to start doing like a daily segment where I just read all the forced to voters. Because these motherfuckers, like, they leave the best comments in the universe. Anyway, folks, thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. And, I've been eating raw peppers and hot sauce. Yo, same. Anyway, folks, tomorrow at 10 a.m., 24 hours from now, we got another show. But yeah, so again, 7 days a week, folks, 9 a.m. on the weekends, 10 a.m. on the weekdays. If anyone wants to contribute to making sure that I do not die of starvation in the next, 6 months, feel free to give me money. I will post the links in the chat. I would appreciate that. Feel free not to give me money as well. That is your ability. You have that right. You have the right to remain with the money in your wallet. But if you choose not to, then that's okay. And so, there you go.
No, seriously, hot sauce. I've been eating a lot of hot sauce, a lot of raw peppers and hot sauce.
Running against the worst candidate in the history of presidential politics puts pressure on me. Could you imagine if I lose my whole life? What am I going to do? I'm going to say, I lost to the worst candidate in the history of politics. I'm not going to feel so good. Maybe I'll have to leave the country. I don't know.
I'm about to be 34 and I have no family. I'm about to be 34 and I have no family. I'm about to be 34 and I have no family. Because my dad had 2 kids by the time he was 27.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, you know what the problem is though? It's definitely not me. It's definitely not me. It's definitely not me.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's everybody else. I think it's everybody else. But you know what the problem is though? It's everybody else. I'm about to be 34 and I have no family.
But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. We have to have law and order. We have to respect our great people in law and order. We don't want anybody hurt. It's a very tough period of time. There's never been a time like this where such a thing happened.
Early in the morning, they went to the table with the black robe, the black shield, and they pulled out the vote.
Well, first of all, I should say something about how we came to be here and why we're doing this, and then kind of what we had in mind. Originally, the idea had come up of me debating somebody else on this topic, and that didn't end up happening,
So notice something. I defended him on his bad joke because I have standards and I have principles,